How we doing, everybody? My name is Brian Incolata. I'm a music producer and audio engineer, and today I want to share with you guys the Pro R by Fabfilter. Really awesome plugin. I'm just very impressed with what I can do with this, and it's just a very dynamic and versatile tool. And you can make things sound very natural, very bright and organic, to things that are very spacey and synthy and washy. Basically, you can get as creative as you want with it. So I'm going to show you guys, put this down here, this project as an example with no reverb on the vocals, and then we're going to add it to the vocals, and I'm going to explain what I did and why I have the settings that I have. So let's jump right into it.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Get off the boundaries, you're in my space.
All right, so that's just the vocals with the compressor and the limiter. And now I'm gonna set it to -20, and I'm gonna gradually push the fader up so you guys can see how it changes.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Get off the boundaries, you're in my space.
So yeah, you can tell how the brightness came up, how it just pushed those vocals right in the, just pushed them up, and it just brought more clarity to them. And yeah, let's jump right here and see what are my settings. And we'll just turn all these on so you can kind of figure. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to get into is the decay rate, because this is like one of the most important settings for your reverb on your vocals or on any instrument. And the reason I have it at this rate is because I just felt that for me it fit better, the song, and it didn't make the vocals washy or not understandable. And so that's something that you have to play with so you can get that clarity in your mix and that space and that depth. And yeah, let me just elaborate on that a little bit more. And I'm going to solo these vocals.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing.
So that's the original settings, and now I'm going to put it up so you guys can see how it's going to make it more washy, more spacey, and put it with the song so you guys can see how it really doesn't, help.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me.
So yeah, you can tell that it just creates more space, more echo, and if I put that with the song, this is how it's going to sound.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me.
So in my opinion, that doesn't work pretty well with these vocals, and it's just very it's just creating too much tail on the reverb, and I don't really want that, so that's why I set it here at 145, where it kind of sounds a little bit cleaner and a little bit more subtle.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Forget all the boundaries, you're in my space.
It can even go up to 2, like it doesn't sound bad, but I want to leave it here at around 150, that's fine. And the cool thing about this plugin is that these two knobs work together, so I can just leave this at 1.51 seconds and then just mess around with this knob, and it's just gonna decrease it or increase it. So moving on to one of the most I guess influential settings of this reverb is the brightness knob. And the cool thing about this one is that you can set it at dark, and when it's at this setting, it's going to emulate more of hall reverbs and natural sounding spaces, and in which these spaces have like a darker tone. So if you have it at this setting, it's going to sound very natural, and we're going to see how it sounds right now.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Forget all the boundaries, you're in my space.
So yeah, you can tell how it went. You know, it was completely dark at 0, and then when I gradually put it up, it was just bringing out more high frequencies, making it brighter and more luscier, and I just like it a little bit brighter on this type of vocal. And yeah, another cool thing about this plugin is that when you just hover over this knob, it tells you like what each setting does. It gives you a little like description of what each knob does. So that's very helpful, and that's a really cool thing about this plugin, and basically all Fabfilter plugins. And the other one is the character. Well, this one is a little bit more subtle, and you really have to hear for the change. Like it's very subtle, even though when you have it and gradually up to chorus, it's just going to bring more echoes up, more modulation, and yeah, let's see how it sounds.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me.
Now I'm going to just put it all the way down to 0. See if there's a difference.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me.
So I laugh because I really didn't hear any difference, but let's put it again up to 100 and see if there is a difference. If we're bringing up that echo, those late echoes, and so it's kind of like a delay that it's adding, and also modulation. So
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Forget all the boundaries, you're in my space.
So yeah, it's very subtle. It just depends how it sounds to you. Like you just have to mess around with the knob and see how it just brings value to your vocals or to your instruments, and set it wherever you like. And now for the distance, this one's a little bit more obvious. when you have it all the way down to close, the vocals are just going to be up front and just more present. And when you have it all the way up to far, it's just going to create more of a space effect, and it's just going to be obviously, it's going to sound further away. So let's set it all the way down.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Forget all the boundaries, you're in my space.
So yeah, you can tell the difference how it was a little bit more closer and sounded more natural when I had it all the way down to 0, and then when I gradually increased the settings, it went further away. So yeah, that's pretty much it with these knobs here in the plugin. And then you also have the stereo width, which the more you increase the stereo width, it's just going to be more spaceful, and it's just going to take more space in the song. And when you just move it down to mono, it's just going to be a little bit more centered. And this can be helpful if you have things panned to the left or right, and it can just bring more clarity to the instrument or the vocals if you have backing vocals or other instruments in the background. So that's how it can be used. And for this one, I'm good at 70 with this setting here. And I always like to set the mix to like 100% wet, because that way I can just mess with the faders, and that way I know that I'm using the full effect on anything that I'm applying it to. So another cool thing about this plugin is the EQ effect, or the EQ and the decay rate EQ. I have it basically set like this because there were some high frequencies I didn't like, and I also took out some mid frequencies to just clean it up a little bit. And yeah, that's one of the things that you have to notice with reverbs. Sometimes they can add frequencies that you don't want there. And the good thing about this plugin and other reverbs as well, they normally come with integrated EQs. If not, you can just add another EQ on the bus channel. And you also have a damping EQ, and this is just like an EQ on top of another EQ, and this one messes more with the time settings and how long the reverb lasts. So it's kind of like a decay and a EQ mixed together. So let's say I set it up here all the way up, and you guys are going to see how it sounds. It's just going to let those high frequencies ring for longer.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Forget all the boundaries, you're in my space.
Okay, and then I'm going to set this.
I see you alone,
So yeah, you can tell that it's letting those high frequencies ring out for longer, and I really don't want that for this track, so I'm going to just set it here. So it's basically supporting this EQ down here, and it's just bringing down those high frequencies even more. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this vocal, and let's just hear how it sounds with the whole thing.
I see you alone, coming around me, coming along, moving around me, stealing the air that I'm breathing, coming along, moving around me. Forget all the boundaries, you're in my space. Give me the details of where to next.
that's pretty much it, guys. Obviously, you have to set it how it sounds right to you. There's really no right or wrong in this. It really depends on how it fits the vibe of the song and how it sounds to you at the end of the day. And as long as it serves the song and it just brings value to it, then just go with your with what sounds best to you. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be posting more videos about stuff like this. And yeah, you guys can also let me know what you would like to see, and I'll be more than happy to check it out and possibly make a video out of it. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you.